the secret files of Teletraan 2.
Hello everyone and welcome to this show that the name escapes me all of a sudden. Teletraan 2, the files of Teletraan 2.
It's a good name, shut up.
It's a great name. And I'm blowing out my mic. So, no one else thinks that.
I think that.
No one else. Yep, we're going to be talking comics, and with me as always, as you can hear, is the guy with bad naming sense. It's Andy.
Me.
Hi, Andy.
Hello, Mikey. I named you when you were born.
Yes, and it shows.
Yeah, I know. Which is weird because it meant that I had to travel through time to do it. Oh!
We're back.
Blitzwing LG Comics. That's it. That was what happened. I went back in time and named you and set you free from your shackles.
And then I would one day turn around and just shackle you in return.
That's right.
No, you'll shackle me after unshackling me.
There's irony there, I'm sure.
There's irony.
You become
more
my
irony,
prisoner.
More irony than in the song "Ironic" by Alanis Morissette. Of which there isn't much irony. Yeah, guys, we're here today to talk about comic books. We've got a little bit of a weird lineup this time because IDW is playing catch-up on its releases. So in about 2 weeks, we're getting loads of books out on the 28th. And at the moment, they're playing catch-up. So we've got 2 Lost Lights, we've got Visionaries, and we've got Optimus. Of course, Visionaries will be on the Patreon show. So let's get started with Optimus Prime, issue 15. Sort of maybe John's culmination arc, or at least the start of one. The Falling, Surfeit of the Primes. So basically opens up, Mistress of Flame is meeting with Alpha Trion and telling her she's having bad dreams of bad times back when Camnus wasn't an energy-drained cesspit. And she was basically in the running to be Mistress, but wasn't Mistress yet. And she went tracing a Cybertronian signal with some chums, and they ended up stumbling upon a giant eyeball. Woo. And Optimus Primal and Beast Wars Megatron. And with them, probably more importantly to the story, but not more important to my heart, Onyx Prime, who promptly killed her friend, who was the current mistress, I believe. And yeah, the Mistress of Flame goes, you know what's weird? I've met a lot of gods recently. She sort of lists them off there. She's met Liege's out there, Trion's out there, Onyx is out there, and Optimus, who she's still saying is the Arisen Secret 13 Prime. Meanwhile, Scoop listening in, who thinks she's talking a load of rot because fate is wrong, religion is evil, and, Richard Dawkins is the way forward. Mistress is naturally being very Kai Wynn about it all, but then Alpha Trion sort of butts in and says, you're not really mad at Optimus. You're mad at someone else. So why don't you go talk to him? On Earth, Optimus, Marissa, and the President are trying to do a real publicity moment of opening an Ore-13 mine in Kentucky while they're being basically stoned. People aren't really happy. Optimus is, not happy with how things are going. And Wreckar and Rummage are watching on, saying they're not really getting much out of this whole arrangement, with Soundwave standing behind them, doing Soundwavy things. In Autobot City, Aileron and RC are basically talking about how things are a bit nuts, and there's new protoforms and everything else. And that's probably the happiest thing that's going on. Aileron is still down about the whole slide nonsense. And yeah, Optimus comes back. Pyra Magma basically confronts him and says, hey, watch it down. Prime does something someone should have done a long time ago, which is give as good as he gets, or just turns around and says, yeah, I totally bent him to my will. Totally bent him to my will, Pyra. You'd have been proud. And Marissa sort of goes, not even funny. Meanwhile, Slide is basically kicking up again. And then Aileron has had enough of her shit. So as they're loading Ore-13 to send over to Cybertron, she drags Slide in and says, hey, why don't you say it to his face? She can't. And as Prime, who's not in a good mood, he's just down for this issue. Is trying to do, primey stuff and making her feel better. Pyra butts in, tells him he has been removed from the going on of Earth too long, and, he should be delivering Ore-13 to Cybertron. and the colonists should visit the mine themselves, and so they can see with their eyes what Optimus is trying to do. Because we all trust Pyra. Optimus takes the R-13 through the bridge, hands it over to the Council of Worlds, now led by Windblade, who is completely bitchy to him, but, you can't really blame her. And he doesn't really blame her. Mistress of Flame wants to have a chat with Optimus and talk about the dream about his dream about annexing Earth, and talk about her dream, and then it gets kind of weird because something darkens the sky. Meanwhile, in the prison, Starscream is basically kind of like he's talking away to Bumblebee, looking at the hologram of his would-be self, and he makes an interesting point of, "I'm still the best official leader this planet has ever had. And I am the start of a new legacy in history." And then Scoop shows up, probably to start bitching him. And before they can really kick off, Bumblebee is sort of pointing and tells Starscream to look out the window. Because an eyeball is floating above Iacon. It's the same eyeball that the Mistress saw. And as Windblade and everyone else is freaking out thinking it's Liege Maximo, we find out Maximo is there, but he is in chains next to Onyx Prime. Onyx announces that he has returned to pass judgment on Maximo and all those who transgress against Cybertron. Optimus, being Optimus, says, "Hey, why don't we come down and talk about this like civilized people?" And Onyx surprisingly agrees, but says he wants to talk to the Arisen because it's time for Optimus to take responsibility. And that's part one of what I'm suspecting is going to be a pretty large story. So, Andy, opening thoughts on this issue.
First off, is there an issue that we're missing between this one and the previous one? Because it felt like a bit of a jump from them finding prototypes and having all that stuff going on in the wilds, in quotation mark, with Trypticon and all that jazz, to then this issue that, for me, there seemed to be a bit of a jump. Did I miss an issue? Is that what the annual's for?
No. The annual is actually set before all of this, because Starscream's still in power. The preview's out, and Starscream is full blast in power. I think there's just a bit of a time skip.
Okay, because that felt a little bit confusing, because especially with the discovery of protoforms, which is a fairly big thing, yes? It seems a bit strange that that's just kind of glossed over, I think is the best term for it, just because it's glossed over by Aileron and RC. They just kind of go, "Oh yeah, we found some protoforms. Oh, what was that like? It was cute. I could be a teacher if I was in a happier continuity."
It tried to kill me. I found that adorable.
There'll be no more problems with these children.
And I've killed the oldest, so the others are war.
How did that issue end? How did the last issue of that? Because I can't remember.
He annexed Trypticon.
That's right. Again,
and basically said
against something fairly big and important, and it's just like not picked up on at all in this issue. So is Trypticon still in the wilds? Is he?
I would love that, the Earth Embassy. Well, you can have your Earth Embassy, yeah, but it has to be way over there. You're not allowed to come into town.
See, I'm waiting for like a Transformer to set up like a Jurassic Park and to dress up like Richard Hammond.
Starts chasing Trypticon and the Dinobots
exactly
around. With a stick saying like, "We've spared no expense."
Welcome to Onyx Prime Park.
Leave me alone.
Spared no expense. Spared no expense here. And then Onyx Prime just wrecks it all.
Yeah, just like, yep,
fantastic.
Had to be done. Why? Why not?
It's life finds a way, even on Cybertron. I thought the issue was okay, apart from that big old time skip. I like the art a lot better, obviously, because I'm more a K fan than I am a Livio fan. I found it interesting enough, and I'm interested to see what the next big thing is to happen, I suppose. But yeah,
I feel like Cybertron is deserving a break.
But
like one week where nothing goes wrong.
You had that when Till All 1 wasn't happening, and Optimus Prime was just set on Earth. But since Till All 1's over,
things were wonderful, except when we suddenly turned our heads towards them.
Yep, exactly. It was all good and fine.
Oh dear.
It's just okay. Yeah.
What did you think of like? I thought this one had a lot of very small character moments in it. I loved Aileron throughout. I mean, I love Aileron anyway. She's amazing. But this whole thing is just like, you know what? I've had enough. There's a lot of I've had enough of your shit in this book.
Yes, I like that, especially from Aileron, because she has had to put up with this bitching and snidey comments from Euler. Is it Euler? Slide. That's right. Euler's the dead one. There's so much of that shit for like, God, shit tons of issues at this point. She's been bitching for months now at this point. So it's good that she's finally called and like, well, go on then, bitch at him. And she's like, just shuffling her feet, can't say shit to Prime. It's like, you're all mouth, aren't you? You got nothing to back it up with. Stupid Slide.
Yeah, I love who she's become, Aileron. I think it's amazing. Yes. I grin from ear to ear when Prime just let Pyra have it.
But
that little bit of snide.
Fairborn did the right thing because she's like, you know, a lot of people have cell phones with recorders, and you guys have recorders in your eyes, so this might not be a good idea. And Prime's like, I'm so fucking tired, but that's a good point. But God, fucking damn, I'm sick of this shit.
Yeah, I like that a lot, actually. He's very done with his role at the moment. Because it has been a series of cock-ups. Yeah,
I mean, we have been saying it for months and months. Prime's not a peacetime leader. He's not a politician. He is a morale-boosting, let's get this fucking fight done for justice and peace and all that good. And he just wants to do the right thing, and man, he doesn't play the game well. Bless him.
Yeah, it's great. I love that he went that way because, you know, when you look at it, Megatron's a much better politician than he is.
God, yeah. Yeah, well, Megatron was an artist and a thinker before he was a despot, murdering, gladiator, killing machine. Prime was a librarian, a shy librarian. Yeah. You know.
All right, Entry. I've got to file this.
Very, very different characters, and it's again obviously a very interesting place to see where they're from. Here's a question though. I know he's not in the issue. Do you think Prowl would have been better to be the leader at this point?
I think Prowl would be a better politician.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because I mean that's kind of what you need at the moment.
I think that's kind of like, not to politicize this a bit, but I think that's like saying, "Hey, we don't want Trump. Let's get Mike Pence." You've got someone who's technically better at the job, but you still don't want them doing the job.
Yeah, I guess, but
you know what I mean?
It's difficult because I always find Prowl really difficult to gauge on what he's trying to do, because he seems like he's trying to do things for the best, but he really doesn't care about the consequences. I just wondered what your thoughts might be he'd mentally handle this better than Prime would. That's for sure.
Yes. Oh my God, he would. This whole lying to people thing would come to him so easily. But the thing with Prowl was oddly enough, he's more emotional than Optimus.
Yeah, I could see that.
And he would eventually make the wrong call for the wrong reasons. Like, Optimus will make the wrong call, but it pretty much always be for the right reason.
We kind of saw that shit in Combiner Wars, I suppose, didn't we? Was it Combiner Wars?
Yep. Yeah, where literally everything was, Prowl keeps coming in and saying we should do this. Everyone else says no, and then Prowl does it anyway.
Yeah. Good times.
Because Prowl. I miss Prowlestator. But yeah, it was an interesting one. What did you think about the whole mistress angle? Because it's been a while since we've really examined sort of the religious side of things.
It was nice to see a bit more of her and have a bit of her internal dialogue, because have we ever had internal dialogue from the mistress?
No, she's always been seen from someone else's perspective.
Yeah, and she's always been perceived as Kai Wynn, a.k.a. big ol' bitch asshole. And her internal thoughts, obviously, because they're her own thoughts, don't portray her in that light as much, because of course they wouldn't, because they're her own thoughts. She doesn't think herself as a bitch, one would imagine. She's not self-hating like Starscream.
Goes to sleep at night just beating herself across his face. Bitch! Bitch! Bitch!
I'll sell you out to Gold Ducat one day. It'll happen. I was actually thinking the robot, the new robot with the beak and dreadlocks, which was pretty weird.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
weird. Especially for a Kamian.
Yeah.
Like for that's not a Kamian design.
No, I thought it wasn't bad. It was just very weird. I actually thought that was going to be the Mistress of Flame, and we were going to have a Kaiopaka situation. You know. I thought she was being all nice and friendly about the religion, and Mistress of Flame is a bit more the iron fist of the religion side of it.
And what when Onyx shows up, she just accidentally shoves her.
Yes,
at him.
exactly.
Whoops.
No, it's more like, you come from the flame of Primus and something, and he goes, yes, I have. Just pop. Well, to be fair, he just pops her head off like she's got a terrible ball joint anyway, so it could have worked. QC people, even in the comics, quality control for building your robots in space. Don't cheapen out on the joints.
What I do like about that design is that if you look at it really closely, you can just make out Kay doing rock horns. Because that is a very Kay-Zama original design.
It is kind of 2000 AD-ish, I suppose.
Well, it's very much in the same style as Wreck-Gar and Rummage.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because when you think about it, she hasn't done a lot of original designs, like original characters. Or original takes on characters. Most have been inherited from other artists or are G1 characters redone. So this is one of her rare chances to just go nuts, I suppose. But it's just like for a Kamian, that's a weird look.
Yeah, it really did stand out.
If that had been like a Kassarian, I'd have bought it.
Which ones are they?
Lita's crowd.
Oh, yeah. Since they're more Beast Machine-y for the most part, the Beast Machines had some weirder kind of wobbly designs to them, so that would have made a bit more sense, I suppose. Yeah. I was happy to see Stampy in this comic as well, briefly.
Yeah. Well, no, Stampy's dead, I think.
No, who's the... you see the...
Stampy was in... Oh, I just had a realization. Mm-hmm. But Stampy was in Wreckers.
But it looks, to me, on the shot where it's on the panel... in the center of all of us, in the darkest recesses of our spark, we question, and it's got like 4 of Onyx Prime's dudes.
Yeah.
The guy who you can see most of the body for has a rabbit head for a hand.
What if it's Moon?
Oh, fuck off.
What if it's Moon?
I'll moon you right in the sun.
Like, Kay-Zama Moon. Oh my god. I would... Oh my god. I'm going to be disappointed now when it turns out to be a continuity error Stampy, but oh my god, if you just turn on it, just like this bright yellow rabbit that turns into a robot that looks terrible and still looks all weirdly adorable, but is like stabbing people with his ears.
Yes, must have super cute personality while murdering people.
Yeah,
must.
Do you think Primal and Megatron will be called out by name?
I don't know. It depends what they want to do with the toy. Because we know Primal is in this probably primarily because of the toy, or at least he's highlighted in the foreground because of the toy coming out, right? That has to be the reason.
Yeah.
And he's connected with Power of the Prime, and they're pushing Power of the Prime, so I'm sure when he comes out, he'll probably have some kind of important role of some kind. Maybe he's the leader of Onyx Prime's crew. Like Onyx Prime's the god, and he's the general of the troops, kind of thing. That's just a guess, obviously. I think it'd be,
I was thinking it might be interesting if it was something like, they want to have him as leader of Cybertron. Onyx shows up and basically says, I'm functionally your god. You're not leader, he's leader.
Yes. I could see that.
And it says he's ousting Windblade.
Do you remember what they gave us for a background on Primal? Because I'm sure they gave us a little bit of the backstory on him when they talked about him winning the competition.
He was chaotic neutral.
Well, if he's...
Oh no, was he chaotic good?
If he serves Onyx Prime, that sounds pretty chaotic. So that kind of works. And if he doesn't agree with the whole, let's just murder everything, I don't know, Megatron might be... Whatever they decide to call him, if they even do. That would make sense. I
want him to be wandering around just like, who are you? I don't know. You're not ready to hear my name. He keeps going, my name is Meg, and then gets shot. Or someone interrupts him constantly.
Nordlater shoots him. He's dead, though.
Nordlater comes back from the dead to shoot him.
That's right. Only I can have his voice. You will not steal his name. Megatron's in another universe just raises an eyebrow.
And that's the thing. Goes back to work.
Yep.
Oh. I lost you. You just went, there a minute.
No, that's just how I talk now.
Good. But yeah, so, it's a pretty brief issue. Last thing, though, is what did you think of the whole we don't get a lot of Starscream scoop, but we do get sort of Starscream's perspective on his incarceration, and how he sees where he's going from here. What did you think?
For Starscream, it's a fairly non-warped image of what's happened. And I use that very loosely because it's Starscream. That's why I prefixed it by saying it's Starscream. He seems to have accepted in some ways that he's done bad, but the fact that he's like, oh, but I'm not the worst. It's like, oh, come on, Starscream. Come on, bro. But at least, he's still hanging around Bumblebee, and Bumblebee's like, don't be a dick. I like to imagine he's got Josh's voice while he's saying it.
Yeah.
What about yourself? How did you... I also want to mention, he's got a pretty good cell.
Yeah, it's improved a lot since I wonder if Windblade upgraded him.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a chair and desk, and then he's got like a lounge chair and a bed, and then a framed picture of Cybertron.
You know what I want? In the opposite cell, the Combaticons and Arachnid are still in their empty ass cells.
See, I thought you were gonna say that Brawl is an artist now, and he painted the Cybertronian picture for Starscream, and the other Combaticons are doing woodwork.
And Blastoff is the table.
Yep. Blastoff's just in the corner getting the shit kicked out of him each day.
They're very peaceful, except for 1 hour a day.
Well, it's time. It's time to shove this coconut up your anus again.
For art.
For art?
Arachnid's just gone. There's just a drill hole in the wall. And no one talks about it.
No, don't worry about it.
Hey, wasn't there something we don't talk about that?
No, it's fine. Don't worry.
Right. So it's a pretty brief issue in many ways because it is a setup issue. It is part 1 of what I'm suspecting is going to be at least a 5-arc story. So Andy, with that opening, it's an opening issue kind of thing in mind, what was your rating?
I'm going to give this a decent rating of a 7. I thought it was interesting enough. I liked the art throughout. Like you said, it had some nice character moments, but it is very much let's start the next kind of big event for Optimus Prime, the comic, rather than everything else. And let's bring in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Eye ship, I guess, that Onyx Prime has. I want to know what that ship looks like. Is it just a planet?
Well, a lot of people are saying it's Unicron's eye, but, I don't care.
I don't think it could be, because, I mean, we've got the Unicron comic coming, so I can't imagine it's Unicron.
And Unicron just woke up.
Yeah.
What was Onyx driving around back then? Just stole his eye. This is my ship now!
Yep. Well, no, you can see that the eye is in something. On the last page, it looks like it's the... to me, it looks like it's the thing that they pull out Pegasus's face from the series. Little round orb with the eye in it. Yu-Gi-Oh!
We will have our meeting, Onyx Prime. Indeed. How many life points would you like?
We shall decide the fate of Cybertron on this, a children's card game.
Could we not use diplomacy? I'm sorry, it's not your move.
This is not how the ancients did it. We use children's card games to decide everything. How did you think we defeat Unicron in the first place? We pulled out Exodia from our ass after using 5 pots of greed. Pot
almost
agreed,
cheating.
Pot agreed.
That deck was loaded.
Of course it was.
That deck was fucking loaded.
That's how you win the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And not get sent to the Shadow Realm.
No, Shadow Realm, you mean dead?
No, Shadow Realm, Mike, don't worry. No, Ancient Egypt, Shadow Realm.
Dead.
Talked about in all of the Egyptian history classes. Shadow Realm. Shadow Realm.
Next to Hiffle.
Yes, Hiffle. Hiffle the best.
And Next Dimension.
I gave it a rating 7. I'm happy with that. What about you, Mikey?
I think a 7's a good one. It sets up a lot. There's a lot of character setup for this. Not a huge amount of plot. But I think this is going to be a character-focused story, like Soundwave. What's he doing in the back with the Junkions? Onyx, Aileron and Slide, is something going to come to a head with that? Pyra is probably going to make her move during this story. What's going to happen with the Mistress? How is Optimus going to play into any of this? How's Trion going to react to seeing 2 Primes return? What's the story with Liege Maximo? What the fuck? There's a lot to set up, but that's all it is. It is just set up. But I think it's very competently and well-crafted setup. So I think a 7 is a very solid rating for this one.
You know what I'd like to hear? I don't think it would happen, but I'd like to hear that Devzaurus made his design to represent Onyx Prime.
Oh, that'd be neat, because they've got a lot of similarities.
Yeah, with a whole beak around the face and the wings and everything, and the color scheme for the most part. I think that'd be quite cool. It doesn't have to be done. I won't be disappointed if it's not, but I was just looking at the design and going, yeah, Does he ever rest on his little front hooves, or are they just in the front of his thighs?
Oh my god, there was a thing. This was going around Twitter for a few weeks. Actually, it's been going around since the last time there was an issue with Onyx in it. It's like, people are misinterpreting Onyx's design to make him look like he's bipedal. And there was a whole thing about like, it's a shame they didn't do the research, blah, 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 blah. And then Kay came in and said, actually, when we were planning that issue, I just sort of went, you know what? I bet he's naturally four-legged, but he thinks it looks more intimidating if he rears up and walks around on two.
Okay.
So I think what you'll have is that he'll go down in four when he's actually doing anything, but he's trying to look tall and menacing, so he's just going to walk around on the two legs.
Okay, I wondered if he was just going to stand up all the time and be bipedal, but always have these two little legs just kind of hanging off of his thighs, which would look really weird.
And if you make a deal with him, you must shake my tiny legs.
I feel uncomfortable. Shake the tiny legs. Oh, no. Oh, God, it's awful. Why are they slimy? Yeah. That's right.
Now wipe your hand on your pants.
You sicken me, Prime. Spits on him. Good times.
I'm going to be disappointed when Onyx Prime is some just like dickhead apocalyptic fella now.
Just usual bad guy instead of just creepy like shake my little hooves.
Matty. What happens if, like, at the end of this, he just splits down the middle? It was me all along! Oh, fuck it, Sentinel Prime.
Yeah! Everybody starts screaming in joy. Yes! He's back.
I built this giant eye. Why? Why not? It was a moon laser.
Tell me why this wasn't the best idea ever. I mean, I don't know.
I see all. Or someone does.
Get it?
But he's still tiny.
Because I made an eye. Because I see. Yeah, you get it. It's fine.
But he needs to be really tiny all the same, and it's like stroking an actual cat.
Well, he could be the headmaster. That's how he got away.
Yeah, but he's got a cat. He's just got a normal cat.
Oh, normal cat. Okay, not like a
just
cyber fox or something.
Nope, just a normal sized cat that he's constantly stroking, and no one is allowed to bring it up.
The cat would need a spacesuit.
No, the cat's suffocated.
Oh God, that's really bleak.
the cat's dead. It's a he don't care.
That's true.
He just picked it up one day and just started stroking it. It feels right.
Good.
Yes. So, anyway, I think that's, the two of us are looking forward to where this story goes. Moving on, though, we're on to Lost Light, issue 13, Sardines, which is our first time back with the vast majority of the crew. In 7 months.
God, really? Jeez.
I'm thinking now. Yeah. 5 or 6 months. Yeah. It's been 5 or 6 issues since we spent time with the main crew. And by that I mean more than Nautical Velocity and Anode and Lug.
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay.
Because, they had their story, and which was, Anode. We need to hear so much about Anode. But, So, Sardines is an interesting one because it sees the return of Alexander Milne. Now, was I trying to be fake Japanese there, or just emphasizing syllables?
Who can say?
It's for you, the listener, to decide. Especially if the listener is Alex, which it is, because he's on Patreon and would be listening. I have a feeling Alex has, this list of corrections he plans to give us one day of all the shit we've said. Or I've said.
I think I might have heard that. Somewhere.
Alex, I would love to hear it. At some point, I'll hopefully catch up to you again. Just life.
You know that image of 10, that one panel of 10 frowny face? That's Alex's face every time you make a mistake. He got it wrong.
Poor 10. So the issue opens up back on the Necroworld, where Fortress Maximus and his team, including Cerebros, Outrigger, Beak, and Red Alert, have tracked down the planet and have found it in a bit of a state of disrepair, as the Decepticons from the Necrobots' sort of rescue missions have gone amok. Frangry tries to kill Outrigger, and then Fortress buries him in the ground.
Thunk.
Which I enjoyed. Especially, I like animals. And I hope he said that in a really, aww. Red Alert saves Scrounge from rapid fire.
I'm sure Gruff was happy.
Yeah, I'm fucking surprised. That also means that at some point Scrounge probably nearly died.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, so Fort Max and the team stumble upon Tailgate's isolation pod, open it up, and Also, Red Alert has found out that the Necrobot's cape is an up-to-date universal map. That is currently focused on the benzene cluster, which sounds familiar, but I didn't check what it actually was. So he says something's not right with the cluster's appearance. And yeah, so something's weird with the cape, and something is up with Tailgate.
That cape seems far too important to just be worn as a raggy cape, right? If it's a live up-to-date star map, I would not be like, that's like some fancy gold shoes kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
Save that for special occasions at home with a good shiner. I don't know.
What's that you're wearing? The universe?
As you do.
Meanwhile, in the mass displaced body of Skip, a dead Decepticon, they climbed inside and used as a spaceship.
Woo!
Yep. Rodimus and the crew are chasing after Lost Light. People are getting a little odd. Swerve and Anode have started a prank war. Culminating in Swerve convincing Velocity to tell Anode there is a literal head in her ass. And Anode attempts to stick Swerve to a recharge slab. He catches her, and it just goes a bit nuts, and the recharge slab overheats, bursts into flames, triggering a sprinkler system. Anode makes a run for it. Swerve is trying to shut off the sprinkler, but he starts to feel ill and has Ted and call Ratchet to examine him. Ted looks sad the entire time. Ratchet is having problems because his hands have started to shake again. And there's also a bomb inside Swerve's head. Swerve assumes it was Killmaster. The bomb, Ratchet slaps a hand over his mouth and tells him the bomb is ticking down with every word you say. So Swerve should shut up or die. Ratchet's also turned grey, as if he was dead. They come back. Drift is like, your aura's disappeared, and Ratchet's like, fuck off. Cyclonus still has the ridiculous sad eye claw marks, but they're reduced in this. Thank Christ. Cyclonus is staring into space out of a porthole, which you can't really tell is him being depressed or him just being Cyclonus. Ultra Magnus comes up to talk, and they're talking about what you do in Cyber Utopia. Magnus wants to regulate the entire thing. And has been basically setting this out for millions of years, what to do in peace. So they could really use you back in Cybertron Mags. Cyclonus doesn't know what he's going to do, saying he always expected Tailgate would be with him. And Magnus, well, comforts isn't the word. So it goes on at length and goes, I can't comfort you, and then leaves. As Magnus is leaving, Anode interrupts him, with Swerve having used up a few of his remaining words to tell her that Magnus wanted to see her. As he looks up, she's dragged into the air by some magnets and stuck to his body. Swerve is literally willing to kill himself to gloat over this, because he sprayed her with some spray. That magnetizing spray. Up in the cockpit, we have what has to be the conversation that so many people took. There are so many ahs and oohs about this on the internet, and I've never... This is Blast Off. It was probably sexually assaulting Onslaught kind of stuff. Because it turns out that Roller had transformed, and the two of them had climbed inside him while he was asleep. And the two of them, it was Chrome Dome and Rewind. And, quote, were canoodling. Now, a lot of people were saying kissing. That's not what canoodling means in my part of the world.
Mikey's lewd-ass island.
Or your part of the world, Andy.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm any better. I'm in the Mayan muck with you.
Because canoodling is an anglicized term, we'll say. And what it usually means is doing the deed. Going for a ride. Having a go. The sex.
Dogging.
Dogging. Oh my god, Chrome Dome and Rewind were dogging inside a person.
Yeah.
I found...
Think about
that. I found it really disturbing. I'll be completely honest. They literally climbed inside someone to have sex.
Yeah, it takes it a little bit above, having sex in somebody else's bed to... a little bit higher.
This isn't like if they found him under a medical slab or something, or someone's recharge slab, they walked in and just it's not what you think! It's exactly what I think. It is what you think, but please close the door. We're not finished. This is, we climbed inside another person, and he had to hear and feel it.
Yeah.
Okay. Rodimus isn't really giving a shit because he's trying to track down the Lost Light. Then they get a call from Fort Max Rodimus chases him out, and unfortunately, Rodimus is informed what's going on, and Tailgate's isolation chamber is empty, marked with a scorch pattern that indicates Tailgate's unstable spark spontaneously combusted, atomizing his entire body. Rodimus calls him Cyclonus and tells him, and Cyclonus has a full-on breakdown. He is very angry, and people tend to forget that Cyclonus in a bad mood is not a good thing. And unfortunately, as he's coming out, Lug is pulling a node off of Magnus and sends her flying into Cyclonus. He turns around with the sword in hand and is basically ready to go for someone. Swerve, sees I don't think he was going to actually kill her, but he's in a foul mood, and unfortunately by drawing the sword, he accidentally cuts Rewind's chest, and Rewind starts bleeding out. Chromedome flips. Cyclonus and Chromedome then start screaming about whose relationship matters the most. Ratchet is trying to tell everyone, for fuck's sake, calm down, and then starts sinking through the floor. And then Whirl, of all people, breaks up the fight. Just asking Cyclonus, is it Tailgate? And Cyclonus just collapses on him, and I'm presuming is crying. Swerve is shocked that he hasn't exploded, because a node didn't put a live bomb in his head. She had Whirl put one in his head, because Whirl makes clocks. Basically, a lot of screaming is happening as Ratchet is literally sinking out of the ship. Oh, and by the way, Skip is shrinking. And then a voice screams out, telling them all to calm the fuck down, we need to go save the universe. And it's 10. And that's where the issue ends.
Yep.
Right, this is a weird one to talk about, because basically, in terms of stuff to discuss, that's it. There's not a lot of analysis for the events in here, because they are extremely rapid fire. Incredibly rapid fire. So, I'm just going to start with overall thoughts, Andy. And I'm also going to lean back slightly in case the yelling gets me.
I hate this issue. It's such a waste of time. Like you said, there's nothing to talk about in this issue because nothing really of significance happens. I hate the Swerve and Anode thing because, hey, Anode's got to have another thing because she's important, guys. And when was Swerve a prankster? Was he always a prankster?
Well, prankster is not the word I'd use. Bit of a prick.
Yeah, a bit of a prick.
But also,
what a waste of fucking time.
It's just like, and then the book stops for a moment and reminds you why you tolerate Swerve over an Ode, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it's something to like, hey, Swerve has moments where he matters.
Yeah, where he said get out of the way and thought about saving her life, and he was going to die in the process. He's
a real person.
Yeah.
And he by real I mean like Swerve gets real a lot of the time. He sees the world in a very the jokes are there basically because otherwise he'd be crying a lot of the time. But Anode, from what we've seen, is she's just a bit of a prick. Like not a likable prick. She's just a prick.
I would agree with that.
I don't like Anode as a person. I like Lug. I actually do like Lug. I think Lug is perfectly harmless. I would love to see more of her. I would also like to see her develop in any way, shape, and form because she hasn't.
She's the backpack.
She
literally
is literally a backpack that Anode carries around and says lines that Anode you save Anode. But sorry, I interrupted you. Go on.
It adds nothing to the story because it doesn't really build on Anode. I didn't think apart from she's a bitch. Hey, let's have more pranks, and like I say, it was just a waste of time. Didn't enjoy it. I'm not sure there was anything about this issue I liked. I'm looking through it now. The Ratchet stuff seems kind of forced in there. Like most of this issue, I feel could be 2 pages in another issue. You could round up most of the stuff with they again aggravated with each other, which is easy enough to guess because they're all stuck on the thing. Ship starts shrinking, and Ratchet goes grey. Done. Oh, Cyclonus finds out that Tailgate is, in quotations, dead, which, since we don't see a body, probably means, no, he teleported somewhere or something stupid, so he's not dead. Do you agree with that?
Well, I'll be saying this again. James has pulled this card too often.
Yeah.
And he pulls this card, and usually the card lasts for a day and a half. Like, the amount of times he's... Like, it's not the violently injured, it's that he's presented a character, not, oh my god, are they dead? It's, this character is dead. And then next issue, they're fine.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, Wrong is probably one of the best examples of how to do it right. Where he gets his head blown off and just like, well, we don't know what's going to happen to him. And then 4 issues later, they figure out how to bring him back.
Mm.
Like, Cyclonus, last season, is probably, in my opinion, the most egregious example of how it went wrong. Where he gets blown to bits, basically, like holes put in him. And it's like, the issue is treated as this is Cyclonus dying. This is one of your absolute favorite characters dying, doing the right thing for someone he cares about. And trying to save them. And then the next issue is like, it's fine, Megatron's fine, we're all fine, everyone's fine, Tailgate's asleep, he's back, oh look, he's got superpowers.
Yay!
Yeah. Right. Anything else?
I felt my time was wasted by the time I finished this issue.
Mm.
I felt fairly annoyed because it was the first... I looked at the list that you sent me of what we had to talk about, and I was like, okay, we'll start off with this one. I read it and was like, fuck you, Mikey. I know it wasn't your fault, but fuck you. God damn it.
Yeah, for me, it's a difficult one. I don't know how I feel about this issue.
Hate it. Join me.
The thing... I think some of the core concepts are fine. Like, a Node and Swerve having a bit of a joke off isn't bad in and of itself. Cyclonus being upset that Tailgate, inverted commas, dead isn't bad.
Sure.
Worrell comforting him isn't bad. Chrome Blow and Rewind is pretty fucking bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get on to that, because I want to talk about that. It ties into something for the next issue as well, actually. But what it feels to me is like, these are all ideas that James had storied out at the start of the season. Like, we're going to introduce Ratchet disappearing. We're going to introduce Tailgate's issues. We're going to introduce the effect of being in close quarters with each other. How Cyclonus is dealing with things. Whirl, Chrome and Rewind having to try and find moments together, etc., etc., etc. And then he spent the first 6 issues basically on 4 characters and a note. First 7 issues, sorry. And then he had a 2-issue arc dedicated to 2 characters and a note. Then he had a 3-issue arc dedicated to people on the Lost Light. And these are plot points he needed laid out that should have been laid out over the 12 issues we've already had. Like, we should have been having cutaways to the Lost Light crew this entire time.
Mm.
And we haven't. And I will still say that opening arc was a mistake. Apart from personal opinions of the story quality, doing it that way was a mistake. And now we've gotten to, like, this issue has a ton of concepts, and it feels like I need all these in place for the last story. I need these in place for the last story. These need buried. This needs this. Go. Okay, everything's in there. Good, grand, we're good. Fine, we can write the story now. Like, this felt like catch-up. Like, Ratchet suddenly thinking and turning grey, that is completely disconnected from anything else in this book. Swerve feeling ill. Completely disconnected. Although I suppose you can put it down to him having a fake bomb in his brain. But, I don't know, like, the Fort Max stuff should have been happening ages back.
Yeah.
Like, I know there was supposed to be there was a time delay, but there was a time delay of weeks. Weeks! Like, Optimus, when he got the message, thought that if he sent people now, he could be there in time to save them from the DJD, if it was running on real time. It's been months, at least, if not a year or more, since this has been happening. And we haven't been following our crew. We haven't been following the main crew for most of that time. Like, how has Rodimus been handling this? How did it get so bad? What have they been doing in the interim? Have they been stopping? I mean, have they been, they are the guys who would stop to help people. Have they been doing it? Or is it like they've been trying to stop and Rodimus has been just obsessed? What has Cyclonus been doing? How has he been dealing? When did they decide they were definitely heading for Cyber Utopia and not Lost Light? I mean,
sounds like you have a lot of questions due to this issue.
I do. But, like, some people adore this issue. Like, some people are saying this is the best issue of the run.
Is it because it's kind of gone back to robots loving each other with feelings?
See, I like the robots loving each other with feelings was a strong point. It is a strong point. It works in the other books. Till 1 did it great. It did it in a creepy-ass fashion, but it did great.
That was interesting, though.
But for me, it was like, for me, I was excited for this issue because I was like, finally, we're back to the guys. I miss the guys. I like every member of this crew, with one exception, and that's just because that character has been over marketed. But like, I wanted to see. I want to spend time with Roller. I want to see Cyclonus. I missed Rodimus. Rodimus is awesome. Why haven't we been spending time with him? I miss Whirl. I miss everyone. I definitely miss Swerve. I think Swerve is hugely important to the book. 10. I miss 10, and 10 does nothing. And then we have 10 talking at the end, and like someone said, someone's channeling themselves through 10. And you know what? That's probably what's going on.
Thing is, Megatron.
Do you know what? I would be so much happier because it would just be like, I've been gone for 6 fucking months. 10 seconds later, everything's organized. That is over there. That is there. Shut up. That goes there. Like, we are being calm, and you are doing what I tell you. Did I mention I'm writing a new book? Would anyone like to read my new book? But, if we get Megatron back in this story arc, it'd be nice. Like him and alternate universe Orion hanging out.
Yeah.
Although, like, come back and just like, actually, yeah, alternate Orion, prick. Total asshat.
What about Ratchet turning grey, though?
Like, the implication is he's going through necrosis, but this is something that needed setting up, or this needed to be in this issue and not have the rest of this stuff crowding in it.
Yeah, this seems like a very important point that's just kind of shoved in.
Like, how are they tracking the Lost Light? Was this laid out before? I don't remember, and if it was, it should have been restated here.
Ships have scanners. Something.
The Lost Light's at Cyber Utopia.
Something scanners, space and time, timey-wimey, wibbly.
They don't have...
I don't know. I've got no answers. Like you say, maybe it was explained in another issue.
I'm getting more frustrated as I talk.
Good. Join
but
me.
I've got to mention this. James, you're good for the old progression. Like, I may not like her, but a character like a Node should exist.
Sure.
And if it was any other character but a Node, I'd be fine. Lug. Build up Lug. Build up the old Lug. I think Lug would be a great representative character. I like the romances. I like a lot of the character dynamics. I still think the character work James has written is probably the best that's ever been done in Transformers. That Chromedome Rewind thing was a creepy misstep. Like, a lot of people were like, someone said, well, they're not doing anything. I'm just like, Till 1 hit, like, pretty much all but stated they have a sex equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
That they're doing inside someone. That's not that's sexual assault. I would class that as sexual assault. Like, that's like saying it's not sexual harassment if I tie someone to a chair and make them watch. You know.
So yeah, at the very least, I'd just say, "Yo, that's not cool."
That's not cool.
That's not
not cool. And Roller, I've been waiting Roller to do something for so
long. This is his first thing.
This is Roller's first big moment is he ejaculated in me. I didn't like it. Oh, were you having the sex? No, they were having the sex. Oh. I've brought you a dry wipe. Not a wet wipe? No, you'll be sticky for a while.
Oil, yo.
And we're in space and we have no shower.
Inner Energon is now outer Energon.
Why is this inner Energon white? I don't know. Like, moving on. What do you think about having Alex back for the first time in who knows how long?
It feels like he was kind of wasted on an issue where he wasn't able to do anything super cool. Alex's coolest stuff is where the super emotional stuff happens, or when he can go balls deep with character, just layouts and have fucking loads of people in a scene.
Or crazy action.
I was about to say crazy action. And there's not really any of that because we're on a very confined ship. The emotional bits, I don't think, are super emotional. And like you say, there's no action. There's Cyclonus cutting a dude, and that's about it.
I think he would have been a much better fit for issue 14.
I think that's true. That's very true. Because this stuff happens in issue 14.
Yeah, quite a lot, actually. More than I was ever expecting.
Yeah. I think that's what the problem with 13 as well, because you had stuff happening, for better or for worse, that, you know, up and down kind of scale, as I mentioned when we were talking about, what was it, 12 to 9 to 12, or whatever those issues were. Like, you know, stuff happened there, but I had problems with it. And then you just hit this wall of, like, nothing going on. And I think that another reason it annoyed me was because, like you said, this is the first time we've seen the whole crew in a long time, and they got nothing to do for an entire issue. At least from my perspective. They got nothing to do. It was a waste of time. It was a filler. It was, it's the quintessential anime filler where nothing happens, and you could skip it and just read the what happened last time, and I don't think you're going to miss out on anything. And that's a shame, because usually I feel that a comic should be, I have to read it. What a shame if I didn't, you know, because this description isn't going to fill me in. The description for this issue guaranteed to cover every single point.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
If Swerve's recaps were still a thing,
yeah,
that would be the issue. Yeah.
Not
anyway, now it's a different. I don't know. I can't rate this. I honestly can't. I've been trying to figure out. Like, I don't, because I think I know what the intent was behind it.
Okay,
but.
What do you think the intent was, though, since you brought it up?
The intent was to reconnect, fill in a lot of blanks, and introduce the idea that things are breaking down.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they failed. Like, the tailgate stuff, like, the second tailgate went in the fucking hole, he's going to be fine. And now I'm still going like, oh, he's going to be fine. Because I swear there's a type of teleportation they've already introduced that involves leaving scorch marks.
I think you're right. It sounds like a thing.
Anyway, Andy, I can't rate this. I honestly can't. So I don't know what to do. 3. Oh dear, that was unhesitating.
I told you I didn't like this issue. I really didn't like it. The only saving grace was it's pretty art. Alex did a good job drawing stuff, but, you know.
Alex is a talented man, yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't save it from being, in my eyes, a mediocre book where I was very, very bored throughout reading it.
I liked Velocity.
That was fine until the jokes started. You've got a head in your ass. But
I did like the moment of just like, oh, also, I agreed to do this only if I got to tell you it was a lie immediately.
Yeah.
That's like a very Velocity thing.
Yeah, like the characters are still there for the most part, but there's just a lot of mishaps. And
there's a lot of scrabbling for space.
Yeah, I not a fan.
And not in the thematic way.
No.
So yeah, like, I honestly can't rate this one. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I want to give it a 2. I don't want to know whether I want to give it a 5 or 4. I don't know. Am I rating it? Like, I didn't get a lot out of it, but I mean, it clearly was, for what it was pretty, and that's, like, considering that I am I'm a very visual storyteller guy in some places, as much as I love a good bit of exposition. You know, a pretty book is a good thing.
Sure. But there needs the writing to complement it. It's a combination of two things.
I was having that conversation with someone earlier on. They said, do we put too much emphasis on art in animation and comics? And it's like good story can save bad art. And
I think some artists get shit on compared to the story. I know colorists get shit on, and so do everyone bar the writer and the main artist usually get shit on. So I would say that it's especially if we're just boiling it down to just story and art, they go hand in hand. If there's only so much good art can save a badly written story, and this isn't just saying that for this issue. This is just over the whole thing. And again, it's the other way around as well. Bad art can, or a good story can only save bad art to a point. There are lines that cannot be crossed, as it were. It shouldn't be crossed. I don't know. I don't know if I phrased that well enough.
I'm sure you did fine in your head.
Woo! I don't know. Should we move on and talk about a more interesting issue?
Yeah, issue 14, The Ties That Bind. The return, ladies and gentlemen, of the Scavengers, who we haven't seen in the full since issue 40-something of Morton Meets the Eye.
Like a proper issue to themselves, you mean?
They've popped up a couple of times. But,
yeah.
So yeah, this is a pretty straightforward issue as well, but a lot more goes on. So we catch up with the Scavengers, and we find out that they are working for a fella named Agonizer. Agonizer, we've actually met. He was one of the curators in the previous issues. The one where Nautica, he's working opposite I can't remember the alien type, but the other robotic alien who had the Magnificence. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So he recognizes Magnificence for what it was, and also it has officially been stolen by Flame and his team. And he says, you should scavengers, take back the Magnificence, and we'll do a deal. And you'll have so much much money you won't know what to do with it. And yeah, they have a bit of huddle. Crankcase is like, we should totally take the money to be rich and also like do Croc's mental health hospital thing.
That's a great name for a pediatric place. Croc's mental hospital thing.
Yeah, and then Mistfire's like, and we can help Grimlock because like he's basically done. I've done all I can, and then Crankcase, yeah, but money.
I like that.
I miss the boys. Meanwhile, because don't forget, this all happened because they all walked through a portal and someone fell in behind them. Nickel is having a moment on her own where she's yelling into what has to be a short-range communicator, basically pleading with the Death Source to come save her.
I'm with these goddamn idiots. Help me!
They keep saying scavengers, and they keep saying it a different way. Why?
It'd be like if any of the other Eartron forces were trapped with Zim on Earth. Help me! Oh god, the robot's terrible!
Yep, and also the rain's trying to kill her. That's kind of like the meat.
Oh, that's right, because it's acid, isn't it? It's acid rain. That's right.
So she's not very happy. Grimlock shows up behind her, and we have a nice moment of Grim. Yeah, I know who you are. I had a friend who talked about you. No, Grim Weather. Oh, all right.
I like that.
Yeah. So the scavengers decide, fuck it, why not, and bring Nickel along for the ride. The Agonizer teleports them to the last known location of Flame's team, and as they're walking up, they're chatting away. Nickel tries to talk to Grimlock. Grimlock doesn't respond, and she's a bit pissy about it until Mistfire tells her, like, at the moment, he can basically manage 7 words a sentence. Which was like, Spinster fixed his tail once, and he said thanks in slightly lengthy fashion. And the problem is that Grimlock hasn't improved any. Like, his sentences structures have gotten better, but he's still not Grimlock. And then, as they're all chatting away and getting to know each other, they get attacked by trees. Which is a bit of a callback to Mord Meets the Eye issue 8.
Really?
Where there was when they found Grimlock in a World Sweeper, it was full. It had a bot made of trees, like a half-grown one.
Huh.
Well, they found trees, and they found another World Sweeper, and it seems that there's a connection, and these guys are protecting it. And they're all a bit concerned until Grimlock decides to do something about it. And we have a nice moment of, oh, you kind of forget what he can do.
Hmm.
And we find out that Grimlock officially now is a former Decepticon. And apparently is one of only 2 people who has ever had their name bumped to the top of the list.
Of the DJD.
By the DJD. Nickel and the lads get talking, and then they sort of like, how do you know anything about that? Like, you know anything about the DJD? And like, I was on the DJD. No, you weren't. I was on the DJD. And we get interrupted in what I think I would like to see more of this conversation, which is her going like, I'm very proud of the fact I was on the DJD for the Decepticon cause. She even asked Grimlock if he switched back to the right side. But everyone else is going, are you fucking kidding me? What are you... everyone thinks she's trying to apologize. And she's like, no. I don't want to apologize. You should fucking apologize. Do you have any concept of what they've done? Then Grimlock breaks up the fight by saying she's one of us now, and it turns out he said 8 words. And as this moment is getting, Scorponok shows up.
Me.
Scatters the group, and then we have a nice little scene of him and Grimlock transforming, and Grimlock starts going from screaming, kill you. But then Scorponok waves a hand and goes, sleep.
Go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
And Grimlock goes down. And everyone wakes up in a cell in the World Sweeper. Grimlock's still unconscious. Nickel is being filled in on exactly, what happened out there and who Scorponok is and everything else. The guys are sort of like, why is Grimlock unconscious? How did he do that? And the plan is, Sinister and Crankcase want to open Grimlock up, go in, find whatever it was that sent him off, take it out, and then sick him on Scorponok. Which, to be fair, as plans go, isn't a bad one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you want to solve a problem, Grimlock's probably, solution to 9 out of 10.
Well, he helped with the trees, so...
He helped with the trees, and those were a lot of trees. Yeah. Also, I did like the idea, tree people, he breathes fire.
Yeah, it was a bad combo.
But Fulcrum and Misfire are both this is a terrible idea. Because if we open him, and he finds you with your hands inside him, it ain't going to go well.
No.
Because he's mentally damaged.
This is what people call foreshadowing.
This is foreshadowing. And there is such a thing as trauma. Well, they open him up, and it turns out Grimlock's chest is Matrix compatible. Or is it?
No, because he's not a leader class figure for Power of the Primes.
Tiny Grimlock he just turns into a bigger Grimlock. There's no difference in anything. It's just Grimlock into Grimlock.
Yeah.
Scorponok and Flame show up incorrect. It's not Matrix compatible, it's Magnificence compatible. Apparently, Aquidus was built in part to cover up for the Magnificence being stored at Garrus 9. Which means that Overlord, when he was torturing Fort Max, was after the Magnificence. Presumably, basically ask, how can I kill Megatron? And yeah, when Grimlock showed up, they had an idea. Which is basically, presumably operate on him partly without his consent. Put the Magnificence in him in a lock that will only open if Grimlock will only open and release the Magnificence unharmed if Grimlock wants it to. If they try to take it out any other way, it will be damaged on the way out. And by the way, the Magnificence is possibly the remains of one of the last Knights of Cybertron, who went on a knowledge quest and got condensed into a giant ball that is compelled to answer questions. And has an eye. I forgot it had an eye. But yeah, so what's the line like? Once he showed up, what's the one place in the universe that it's harder to break into than Garrus 9 is Grimlock's chest. Again, not actually that bad a plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially if it's even if you beat him in the fight, if you try to take it out without his say-so, you're gonna break it. So, Scorponok then says, yeah, I can knock him out. I can also wake him up. And Scavenger's well, no, you don't need to no, fine, no, it's good. Sleepy dinosaur man. Why were we alive if you're going to try and kill us? And it's just because I wanted to make sure you weren't anyone important. Because someone is coming that he must confront and repel. And then he waves his hand, and Grimlock wakes up, looks at Sinister's arm, which is in the middle of his chest, and rips it off.
Ow.
Yeah, aye, was a thing. And as everyone is basically screaming, oh god, and Scorponok and Flame walk away, as we literally have things people trying to threaten Grimlock, and you just hear, oh god, oh god, oh god. And then later on, a couple of guards notice that the bars are buzzing, and there's a lot of blood on the ground.
Not my raccoon wounds.
They go over, and they look like they're going to throw up, because Grimlock is standing in the middle of essentially a small pile of dead people that are scattered all over the floor. And says,
to be fair, though, he has not constructed a throne out of them yet.
No, he was probably in the middle of it before they interrupted. And using far more words, or at least I think it's either 9 or 10 words, he asks that they go get Scorponok. So, and that's where the issue ends. A lot happens in this one.
Yep, especially compared to the last issue.
Yeah. Again, overall thoughts, Andy?
A lot better, a lot more interesting. Good to see the Scavenger crew. They were acting as they should and doing their stupid stuff. The collector, I mean the curator. Totally different people. Totally different. It was nice to see that guy again, even though he's just 6 shots body. I liked Nickel just dealing with the incompetence that is the Scavengers. That's kind of nice. Interesting to find out what will happen now that Grimlock is, in theory, back to being Grimlock. I'm sure after like 40 years of having no Grimlock, Mikey, this maybe pleases you.
Oh yeah, in all honesty, the Grimlock side of this, no complaints.
Yeah, I just mean the idea of having him back, because we haven't had Grimlock for years.
Grimlock,
years and years.
Yeah, we haven't seen Grimlock since Maximum Dinobots.
Jesus.
So it'd be nice to have him around, or however this goes, if he is him.
Yeah.
Like, I saw one guy saying, "Oh, he's worked for Scorponok this whole time."
No.
And I was like, that's clearly not what happened.
No.
They tell you, they literally, Scorponok tells you what happens.
Yeah.
He's in full Bond villain mode, by the way.
Scorponok. Oh, yeah.
Which I love. That's my favorite thing about him. I'm
interested to see like how the scavengers get out of this, because are they dead? Probably not.
Again, like before I go into things further, you've played the card too much, James.
Yeah.
I mean,
none of the heads have been squashed.
Yep. Everyone's head is still there. Everyone's torso is still there.
Yep.
And I see no sparks.
No. And they're all coloured, so...
Yeah. So you've played this card too much.
Yeah.
Even if you came away and said, no, they're actually dead, it would still be like, you hurt yourself.
I don't believe you, James.
No. But the book's over. They're still dead. I still don't believe it. Yeah, it was. I like this one. I like this one a lot. I miss the scavengers. I love the scavengers. They're great. They're great because they're very different from the other groups. They are the damaged ones, but they're from the darker side of the fence. But they're also people. Like, they're very prominently people.
Yeah.
So it was good to have them all back. The nickel stuff was surprisingly good, considering I'm not huge into nickel.
Yep.
And like wow, look at all this plot stuff that's happened with no sacrifice to the characters.
What? Can't do that.
Can't do that.
I will say they missed out on one thing. I kind of wish the tree bots were they would say "knee."
Knee. And Grimlock's killing them. Just go, knee.
Shrubbery.
I forgot to mention as well, there's a flashback at the start of the issue which explains how Scorponok get out of the Garrus 9, which was basically Shockwave took him, a bunch of other people, all of which were on the list, and then when the DJD showed up, said, you can have these guys.
You know what the most important thing I took away from that was, Mikey?
Yeah.
Kakarayu.
Yeah, yeah, my boy. Yeah, who would one day go on to work with old Death Stars.
Yes, exactly.
Like, and Skip's in there as well.
Skip? Who's Skip?
Skip, the Decepticon, the one that they're driving around in.
Oh, really? Is that the smallest dude?
Yep.
I wondered who that was, because that looked like really out of place. I was like, okay, there's Flame, there's Bombburst, there's Skullgrin, there's someone behind them.
Flywheels is there as well.
Flywheels was there before he was blended. He got his.
How did he go from there to the scavengers? There was a story to tell there.
Shit happens, Mikey. Some people take the wrong path in life sometimes.
No. But yeah, it was. I like it. One, because Shockwave basically gets defeated, not by logic, but by illogic.
Yes.
Which is just like, he had a very good plan, but he also accounted for it by saying, like, Bludgeon and Monstructor hold back just in case. And then it's just like, go get the DJD, and they're just like, I'm not dealing with this shit right now.
That shows that Monstructor and Bludgeon are quite a powerful team if they can theoretically put off the DJD, right? Maybe not beat them, but at least make them second think themselves.
Well, a Combiner and a Pretender, and a Pretender did take out a planet, even if Bludgeon isn't as powerful as Thunderbolt.
Yeah, this is the thing about power scaling. It's like, but how does the team of Bludgeon and Monstructor compare to a six changer like Black Shadow?
Yeah, but I didn't they say that they only just discovered the nuke that made them so powerful that they could take down the Phase Sixers?
I can't remember, to be honest.
I'm trying to remember, because I know it was the nuke that made them so strong.
Yeah, maybe you could be right.
But anyway, it was still a moment just like, I believe at least that they don't want to deal with this if they don't have to.
Sure, it's annoying.
But it was nice, just like, hello, who's this? You can call me Tarn. I think I'll call you Damus.
And I'll call you Senator Shockwave. Okay, so you've just added Senator to my name. Whatever.
Yeah, Shockwave, I don't care.
No.
I'm calling you this because it's your name, and I see no reason not to.
I did maybe find it a bit strange that Tarn took off his little mask. I'm not sure if that was in character or maybe a little bit out of character. Did he do that?
the only time he took off his mask before was he took it off after finding out about Megatron.
Yeah.
And we couldn't see his face, and he was away from everyone else.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm presuming he does swap them out sometimes, or did, because he's dead. For anyone who does. Spoilers. But what I like, there's a lot in this issue that is tying up continuity stuff.
Yeah.
But one thing I did like it starts off and Nickel starts like flashing back to DJD and being sad, like aww. And I was getting ready to be pissed because I knew the internet was going to be like, "Oh, Nickel's missing her friends. Oh, they were so lovely together." I'm just like, do you not remember what these people were?
The awful, awful murderers.
Nickel is a monster.
Yeah.
She has done stuff that Megatron wouldn't do. That's why he has other people to do it for him.
Well, to be fair, Megatron's busy boy anyway.
Yeah, but then it cuts to the guys and they're just like, "Get the fuck away from me, lunatic!"
Yeah.
And like it takes a dinosaur with brain damage to come in and say, "Maybe we should all calm down and focus."
You got brain damage. You don't know what the fuck she did.
Yeah.
To be fair, bro.
And then it turns out Grimlock's the one that scarred Tarn's face.
Yeah.
I like that because when he was introduced, he was just like, "I forgot how much I hated you." That was one of the first things he said to Grimlock.
I forgot that.
Yeah, so I thought that was a nice callback. But and also like we find out why Grimlock's mentally damaged because Scorponok tortured the magnificence out of him. Presumably for a very long period of time.
Yeah, it doesn't really state how long. It just says a very long time, and I imagine it would have had to have been a good few hundred to 1,000 years, right? Because Grimlock's not like a
Grimlock's
he's no,
but he's no wrong, but he's only been in prison for like 5 years.
Wow. Grimlock gave up kind of easily then for Grimlock.
5 years of continuous torture. Pussy.
To be fair, for Grimlock.
Yeah. Well, like, it was mentally break.
Yeah.
And, like, there was a thing, like, wasn't Overlord, like, feeding him images as well of everyone dying horribly that he couldn't save?
Oh, I like to believe that it was that episode of, you remember Babylon 5 with Sheridan being tortured mentally?
Yeah.
It was that.
Yeah.
It's just that episode.
Grimlock, how many lights are there? There are 4 lights! He just ends the book. I could see 5 lights, Miss Fire. I could see 5 lights. That's because there are 5 lights. Look, they're over there.
Oh fuck. My eyesight's terrible. It's as bad as Astro Trains.
But, like, I really like this issue. Like, way more. Like, so much. I don't know what to talk about with it just because it's so... It's very linear, but it's solid in its linearness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, any further thoughts from you?
I didn't feel cheated with my time when I read it. I felt like I was fairly satisfied by the time I came to the end. I had fun. The jokes hit when they hit, but they weren't constant, which I think sometimes can be a problem with James' writing. I think sometimes the jokes become overbearing. Or the quips or whatever. This didn't have that. It had a good bit of threat. It had some people dying, and that's always a good thing. Well, by dying, I mean action scene, and it was not the biggest action scene, but it was nice to see, even if it was brief. So I enjoyed this. The Magnificence, I still think, is a get out of jail card that I don't like too much, but at least they seem to be using it in a okay fashion at the moment. It's just the thing to get.
What do you think about the idea it's one of the nights?
Whatever. In my eyes, it really doesn't matter because it could be like a neuron from Primus for all I care. It doesn't matter where it came from. I don't think. What about you? Would you agree with that, or do you think it's neat that it's a night? Because it just kind of feels like it's just a thing where it's like, who made it? I don't know. Knights of Cybertron made it.
Yeah, it does have that vibe. I mean, I'm assuming it ties into something, but yeah, I'm curious as to where it'll go, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Also on this issue, the artists were Sarah Pittia-Dirochet and Brendan Cahill. Now Sarah did the opening pages, and Brendan did, I think it's page 1 to 9, and Brendan did the rest. And you can kind of tell easily enough just because of how Nickel's face is done.
Yeah.
I think Sarah does great. I think actually Nickel's her weakest character in it, just because of the nature of Nickel's face. It's so wide.
I think in some of the images it's fine, and others I would agree. I think the close-ups of Nickel on the rainy planet are pretty good for Nickel. When it becomes the wider, longer shots, it's not as interesting or well done. Or I don't know how you'd phrase it, but it's not as cool.
No, I know what you mean. But Brendan's art is something that has never really been to my taste.
Mm.
Like, he's good, but he's just not... His faces especially.
Yeah.
He's got this really soft, squishy vibe, if you know what I mean.
Yes, because Croc's little bar that goes across his face kind of looked way more like a mustache and that he didn't have a mouth.
Yeah.
More so
or
than
like
anything.
Nickel's got these weird eye things, and her face looks more angular than it should.
Yeah. And kissable lips as well.
Oh, yeah, but like Overlord wishes.
Oh, my.
He's... although his Grimlock looks pretty solid, I must say. But
the Grimlock's good. It feels like that's where the most time was put into. I wasn't a fan of the Scorponok because of the little pointy things at the side of his head are very, very far apart. And the helmet for Scorponok didn't look like a Scorponok helmet. It just kind of looked more like an Ironhide helmet.
He has teeny hands.
Yeah.
Where are Scorponok's monster claws?
I assume that maybe he takes them off when he's not in battle, because he definitely has them in Scorpion mode, which he drew. I don't know, but actually, even then, the Scorpion claws aren't very intimidating. They're more like crab pinches.
But like I can say, in his last, like when he showed up in issue 9 or 10, whichever one it was, he had the big hands.
Oh, right, okay.
When Jack was drawing him, he had the big claws. So
I've got no answers. I don't know.
Just a stylistic thing. It's just very distracting for me when I recognized it.
Yeah.
So, Andy, anything else you'd like to add?
No, I don't think so. I can't think of any other points that we haven't covered.
Then give us a rating.
I'm much happy with this issue, so I don't know, what would I rate this? I wasn't blown away by it, but I did think it was a lot better. I'd say an 8. I'll go for an 8. I'll be nice.
I was going to say 8 as well. I think this is a really solid issue. I think it brings together a lot of stuff very well. Shows exactly how good James can be. Mm-hmm. Focuses on the scavengers. Hey, characters I've been wanting to catch up with. Why'd you fuck it up, James? Stands in marked contrast to the last issue.
Yeah, it really does.
Marked contrast. I said this with the end of Getaways thing, but hopefully the momentum can keep going.
Oh God, I hope so. Yeah, definitely.
At least for the end of the scavenger story. Jesus.
Yeah.
Because I suspect this is the last time the scavengers will get a story dedicated to themselves.
More than likely with the Unicron stuff coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, however much Lost Light connects to that or whatever, you know.
But yeah, so I think an 8's a very good rating. Like, I enjoyed it. I think it's a solid issue. In that case, guys, that is the end of the free show. I hope you all enjoyed it. Next week, or next month, rather, we'll at least have less issues of Lost Light to talk about because, you know, we'll have all caught up. And we'll also have the annual. We'll also have the annual for Optimus Prime, which I'm super looking forward to.
What do we have next month?
We've got Optimus 16, we've got Lost Light 15, we've got, for the Patreon show, we've got Transformers vs. Visionaries 3.
The annual, like you mentioned.
And we've got the Optimus annual, and that should be the lot.
Right, okay. Yeah, we were meant to do the annual this month, but it got delayed or something again, right? It
was supposed to be out the last week or this week.
Right.
And the schedule is a bit narky while they're catching up.
Okay.
So it should be all settled from now on. But yeah, guys, thank you all for listening. We really enjoy having you listen to us.
That's good, Mikey. Mikey spec well.
Yeah, Mackie talk like adult man does. Yeah, Mackie wear pants all day long.
Oh God, it's my constant nightmare of Mikey walking around with no pants and me screaming, "Where are your pants, Mikey?"
And still going, Mackie wear pants.
Why won't you wear pants?
With this really confident look in my face.
Me just weeping constantly.
Wear pants. But yeah, guys, if you want to comment on anything we've done today, or if you just want to send a message or a question or anything, you can send us an email on the moonbase2@gmail.com, or you can contact us on the Moonbase2 Twitter. We'd love to hear from you. Like, we've never done comic questions, but we can always, you know, if you got anything, we'll happily read it out and see what we can say. Yeah, so if you want to check out me further, you can check me out on Irish Paleo on Twitter. You can check me out other places, but just for this one, because my voice is going, I'll say that much. Yeah, Andy, what about you? Where can people check you out? And what if people want to listen to more of us ramble on?
Oh my god. You can find me on Twitter and Tumblr, CCTFW, on YouTube as Cobra Commander TFW. You can find this podcast on the Moonbase 2 forums, or on Twitter, we're on iTunes, or on Tumblr, or on Facebook. We're on all of those fancy RSS feeds, like Libsyn and all other places, I think. And you can catch all my nonsense and woo-woo on the ccbunker.weebly.com. And if you want to hear what we think about Visionaries Issue 2 and Visionaries Issue 1, you can head over to patreon.com/moonbase2. And if you do $2 each month, you get that show. Plus you get Moonbase Woo-woo, which this month will be on Thundercats 2011 with me and Mr. Jai. And you get this show basically a week early, and any interviews and anything fancy that we do a week early as well. So there you go. I think that covers us.
I need to finish arranging an interview that I was arranging an interview and then life happened.
Oh, very good. I mean, not that life happened, but
no. But also I have another interview to set up.
Oh,
if I can track her down.
Very good.
But yeah, so guys, thank you always for listening. So hopefully, things will keep going with the Lost Light momentum and the Optimus Prime momentum, and we'll see next month. Those of you on Patreon, hold on. I see you standing up to leave. You have to hear about the Transformers crossover that set the internet aflame. And we'll talk to you all again soon. Take care.
Welcome to Moonbase 2.